Okay, first test print of the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon is about to happen. I've got the pre-sliced benchy in mind, the 25-minute benchy. So I've got a roll of PLA in the AMS, and I'm just going to jump right over to the screen here. Just select the benchy and press print now and see what happens. As we do this, I'm also going to start a stopwatch on my old phone because I'm not sure how much I believe the claims that Bambu Labs make here. The 25 minutes is what their pre-sliced model suggests. You can see it's already dropped to 21 minutes. And we are at 1 minute on the stopwatch. All right, so we're 2 minutes in now, and it is doing, it says on the screen, it is cleaning nozzle tip. So it's moving backwards and forwards over the poop chute, cleaning the nozzle tip and doing some kind of a pressure calibration on the back of the build plate. This is a pre-sliced model. I haven't even touched Bambu Slicer yet. This is literally the first print out of the box, and my experience has been pretty impressive so far. It's probably less than half an hour to get to this point after taking it out of the box, which is just absolutely bananas. All right, so the next step, it says on the screen, is to do some cleaning nozzle tip. Step number 2. Here we are 3.5 minutes into the print, and so far no filament has hit the build plate. I'm using the factory smooth build plate for this first print, and it recommends on their shipping stuff to use glue stick for this build plate in particular, because if you don't, then the 3D print could stick and cause damage to the build plate. Now, I haven't had to use glue stick on a build plate for a very long time, because on my Prusias I use these textured build plates from Printed Solid, which have this kind of lovely kind of golden texture to them, and I just haven't had to use glue stick or even do much print bed maintenance at all for a very long time. So I'm going with what the manufacturer says for this first print, of just doing glue stick on this smooth sheet on this pre-sliced model, and then we can start experimenting. So there is a very thin layer of glue stick, just because the benchy prints in that front middle part, I believe. So here we are, 5.5 minutes into the print, and we're still doing bed leveling step 3 on the screen. The nozzle has just started to heat up now though, so the nozzle's now reached 170, 180, 185 Celsius. 200, so I guess it's letting the nozzle get to like 215, 210, okay. Oh, we've got the first filament is out, people. Okay, let's get in a little closer. Right on 6 minutes. Right on 6 minutes. We are looking at the very first calibration layer here, which I believe uses the little LiDAR, Bambu micro LiDAR thing that's sat over there on the side of the hot end, this guy, to actually measure the extrusion and give a calibration profile for this particular filament in real time for this specific print, which is bananas. I seem to be saying that a lot with this printer. It's all bananas. And it hasn't even printed anything yet. Okay, so we're on step 4 of preparing to print, which says calibrating extrusion. Still going. Printing yet another line. It appears that that's finished now. Here we are on 7 minutes 22 seconds, and we're doing a little perimeter around the back corners of the print bed. And oh, we're finally doing the benchy. We've just started the benchy. Literally 7 minutes 30 on the nose. And that back corner did not stick properly. Look at that. You can see there's a little... Okay, so it's put the first layer down, which took less than 30 seconds. The speed of that first layer was absolutely bananas. And now it's doing it. It says on the screen it's inspecting the first layer. I don't know what's going to happen next, because I see an issue with it. It's a very small issue. But no, printer thinks it's fine. Okay, let's carry on then. That's crazy fast. I know I sound like a cliche right now, but wow. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in. 9 minutes in, and the print is going perfectly now. The speed of the infill, the perimeters are kind of slower than I expected. Like when I was doing the 3D printed masks for COVID stuff a couple of years ago. I feel like I got that faster than that on a Prusa, but the infill is just bonkers. I'm going to zoom out with my phone a little bit here and just show you the printer itself is not perfectly stable. That is shaking the table quite a bit. That was not my hand. My hand was resting on the desk as it did that. So these movements are really quite violent. We are 10 minutes 40 into this print. And what does the Bambu say we have left? 16 minutes remaining. So I guess we'll see. So we're about 13 minutes into this print, and it really is very difficult for me to calibrate my brain as to just how fast this thing is going. I mean, with a Prusa, which has been my benchmark for the last 5 years or so, this is a 90-minute print, a 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30-minute print. And we're pretty much at deck level already on this benchy at 13 minutes and 22 seconds. I think folks talk about game changers as a phrase that gets thrown around a lot, but being able to take a slow process and speed it up 2.5, 3 times. I know this is a pre-sliced model, and they will have spent time, I assume, optimizing it for the printer to make the 25-minute headline. So we'll see how the performance is on some other models over the next few weeks, but this is looking very impressive so far. Just checking in as we're coming up to the 17-minute mark. We are cooking, people. We are well above deck. Most of the boat now, just the front bowsprit left to go, and then the little, the difficult overhangs and chimney stack. God, in the early printers, some of this stuff was so difficult. I don't get the feeling that this printer is going to struggle with any of that whatsoever. But just look at the speed of this thing. I can't even process it. Now we're at 17 minutes 30. And the printer says we have 9 minutes left to go. So let's see. It's going to be close, right on that 25-minute mark, even with all of that. Even with all of that 7.5 minutes of dance at the beginning. Crazy. We just crossed the 20-minute mark, 20 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's beginning to look like a benchy, isn't it? Really, really getting close now. So the screen tells me 6 minutes. So it's looking like it might be a little over 25, but we'll see. Quality looks absolutely fantastic. No stringing. I mean, I haven't even done any calibration with this filament in this printer. I've literally just picked a random spool off the shelf of Hatchbox PLA from Amazon that's been open for at least a couple of years. So it's hardly a benchmark filament, and yet the results look stellar so far. Coming right up on 25 minutes now, and we've just started the roof of the wheelhouse. Now Now the screen says 2 minutes remaining, which would put us slightly over time, a sort of 26 and a half-ish. But we've started drawing the chimney now. God, it's fast. I don't even know if the frame rate of this camera can really keep up with it, because it's not a low light situation, but this thing is moving so fast. You almost need like a slow-mo camera to make any sense of it. Right, so there we are, coming up on 26 minutes. It's just that pre-calibration routine that takes us over the 25. There's a minute left on the screen. Oh, we're onto the funnel now, really right at the end. 26 minutes, 17 seconds from the moment we press go. I'll try and get this as accurately as I can. Plus or minus 10 seconds, of course, for the overlap at the beginning. Nearly there. It's going to be under 27, I think. "26 minutes and 20, let's just call that 27 minutes, shall we? 27 minutes, and we have a fully complete benchy, and it's now retracting the filament back into the AMS, presumably so that next time, if it wanted to pick from spools 2, 3 or 4, it could do. But that's it. 27 minutes. Well, let's let the build plate finish moving first. I'll reach in here and just... Oh, God, that was on there. You see some of the glue stick there. Actually came away with the model, so... I mean, the print quality of this is very good. You can see here where it started to change the speed, I guess, as it did different like types of perimeters and stuff. Yeah, you can really see that in the bright light, just where it catches, just there, look, where on the stern of the boat. Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's not perfect, but sometimes for a prototype, good enough is all you need. So this print won't look like much right now, but this is my first ever multi-material print. So there are 3 spools in here, all PLA. We've got a yellow, a white and a blue, as you can see. And the white's being fed back into the system right now, so any second now we might see the filament come along this tube, although it's white, so it'd be kind of hard to see in a white tube. But it's doing another purge at the back right now of the... a purge of the filament out the back, and it's been going for a couple of hours now. You can see all the poops out the back of the printer. I'm going to have to print something to deal with those. But yeah, I mean, filament changes just seem to not really be much of an issue, which is in and of itself a hell of an achievement. You see I've got a massive purge block at the back there. This is using the Bambu Studio defaults. So you got a massive purge block at the back. None of the wasted colour gets put into the infill of the model. So I mean, there are some efficiencies still to be made, and you can change the amount of purge that gets pooped out as well, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be fiddling with that as we go. But I mean, this has been running how long now? We are probably at least a couple of hours. It was a 9-hour print, so yeah, wow, 2.5 hours into this print now. Oh yeah, you can see the model up here on the screen. I forget you have a colour screen, so it's going to be a cute little llama. This machine is going to absolutely make me fall in love with 3D printing all over again, I think. It is what I'd hoped a 3D printer was 7 or 8 years ago when I first bought a CR10 for all my drone racing components back in London. Wow, that was a long time ago. But yeah, so far so good. We'll catch up with you in the morning on the state of this multi-material model. But until then, I think I shall go and get some sleep.